Hello and welcome to this Liverpool news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor and I'm here to take you through all of the latest Liverpool news, including some bits around Arne Slot. I know, again, I don't want to be talking about the manager every day, but there's very little else going on at the minute, and we have some reports this morning from very reputable sources, that must be said, around Arne Slot, around Liverpool's general performances, and whether he will be here next season. We have some transfer links, of course. We have a link with Andrea Kambiaso of Juventus, and we also have a link with Roland Salai of Galatasaray. We also have an update around Manchester City's 115 charges, and we have a report here suggesting what might be a logical punishment for them. I will give you my thoughts on it. I don't think this is fair whatsoever, but I will get into that in a few minutes. We did hit 500 likes yesterday, so we will do a deep dive on Fakahes at some point. I've already started doing some research to find out where they're based and everything else. I have found what company owns them, and I'm still trying to track down where exactly their offices are, but one day we will get over to Fakahes. Let's get to 1,000 likes today. 1,000 likes and Craig will grow his hair out. I'd like to remind you at this point that this is not a legally binding contract and results may vary. Hit the subscribe button as well. Over 50% of people who watch this channel aren't subscribed, so please do hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. I don't know why you're not subscribed. Like, I'm disappointed in you. I have to say, I'm really disappointed in you. You, specifically you watching now. I can see you haven't hit the button yet. Shame. Anyway, on to the news. Let's start off with the manager then. This coming from Paul Joyce this morning, who said Arne Slot's side had played 20 matches in all competitions before the trip to take on West Ham away, and have played 20 since. The sample size is broad enough to make comparisons and throws up some interesting points, while not obscuring the reality that more forward strides will be required for Liverpool's campaign to be deemed acceptable in Slot's eyes. Whether the club's hierarchy are on the same page remains to be seen. So look, results have been better, but we're not passing the eye test, are we? And that's exactly what Paul Joyce said here. Like, the article headline is Liverpool still aren't passing the eye test despite what the stats say. And I think we're all pretty much on the same page with that. Like, people can be happy with the upturn in results. I myself am definitely happy to see us picking up more points. But the results aside, like, just the performances are so bad at times. And I was happy to hear, to be fair, that Arne Slot agreed that the first half against Nottingham Forest was our worst half of the season. Like, at least he's somewhat self-aware about the fact, and I'm sure he knows he has to improve. I'm sure he knows he's still under pressure, but yeah, good to see some results coming, but my God, we're not exactly blowing teams away, are we? This brings us then on to David Lynch, who was speaking with Anfield Index, and he said, I completely disagree with the suggestion that nobody could have got more out of them. Lynch told Anfield Index when asked about Slot's failure to get the best from his squad. Liverpool have to show improvements over the remainder of the season for Arne Slot to be safe. He just needs to win games by hook or by crook. Fun fact, by hook or by crook, that phrase actually comes from the area I live in. So maybe I'll show you someday where that is coming from. And also, the place where Anfield is named after, the actual Anfield, is not too far from me. Maybe we'll do a little field trip someday and bring you out there. But anyway, to continue, I love getting sidetracked in these things. We all agree Liverpool should be better, but quite how much better they can be and how much it's possible to be in this league, I'm not quite sure. 9 defeats in 12 is an absolute disgrace at any level, he said, before adding the subsequent 13-game unbeaten run was incredibly unimpressive, given the quality of opposition and the number of draws in that time. I think some of the criticism of the manager has been absolutely deserved, Lynch added, pointing to the management and constant selection of Mo Salah and Cody Gakpo. Salah is on his longest Premier League goal drought and he's clearly declined, Lynch stated, before adding, that's their misjudgment by the way, and that's what they are judged on. So as we can see, Arne Slot's job is far from safe. Like, if you see the likes of Paul Joyce and David Lynch coming out with this kind of stuff, I'm sure they're hearing murmurings of unrest or uneasiness behind the scenes. Like, he's not safe. He just can't be safe with the performances. Like, even if we get Champions League spots, we spoke about Romano's kind of theory on this the other day, that Champions League qualification would only be one of the factors taken into consideration by Liverpool in the summer. Like, they can't be as simple as he gets top 5 and he keeps his job. Like, the performances have to improve. We're just not good enough. Simple as that, and that's all I'm going to say on it. Let's move on to Manchester City then. So this report comes from Goal this morning, who say, a logical punishment for Manchester City if they are found guilty of the 115 financial fair play allegations would be a 40 to 60 point penalty in the Premier League. Me personally, I think that's absolute bollocks. I think that's not nearly enough. Like, what does that do? It basically puts them down into mid-table for one season. Like, how is that fair? In my opinion, I really want Manchester City to really suffer and know there's no hope. I would like something like a 10 to 20 year stint of 40 point deduction. They start every season for the next 20 years on minus 40 points. They're not going to win the league. They're probably not going to get Europe. Might get Europe at an absolute stretch, but I want them to just, like, be clawing for their lives. Like, they have to really just get so many wins to just barely scrape into the top 10. Like, I want them to be fucking miserable, basically. I want them to suffer every single year, if they're found guilty, allegedly, of course. I just think, like, 1 point deduction, like, what does that do? Or, like I said, if you put them down to League 2, they'll just make their way back up, and that's the end of it. Like, I want something long-lasting. I want all their previous titles stripped, and I want them to really suffer for at least 10 years, if not longer, because, like, if this is all proven to be true, like, the fucking scandal of this, like, the amount of players who've been robbed of trophies, the amount of fans who were robbed of these glorious moments, like, it is just disgusting. They've made a mockery of the sport, allegedly, and they just deserve to be punished, like, severely. They really should suffer, and they should just be put in the corner and not allowed to win anything for years. Like, that's how I see it anyway. But do let me know, do you think a 40 to 60 points deduction is enough? Because I really don't think it is. I say all this, by the way, knowing that that's never going to happen. Like, my theory of what I would want is never going to happen. But, and for the record, I am just pessimistic about this. I think they'll get away with a slap on the wrist. They'll probably get like a 10-point deduction and a 3 million fine or something stupid like that. You know well they're just going to get away with it, like. So I'm definitely not letting myself be optimistic about this, but yeah, that's where my head is at on this one. 2 quick bits of transfer news then. This from Caught Offside, who say Manchester City, Liverpool and Real Madrid are closely monitoring Juventus' 26-year-old Italian fullback Andrea Cambiaso. The fullback market is looking like it'll be hotly contested this summer, with many big clubs eyeing new left backs and right backs. The Italian international has played mostly at left back this season, but is a tactical revelation. As Juve under Luciano Spalletti changed formation and sorted the right formula, Kambiaso has been deployed as a left-sided midfielder in front of a back three, as a right winger and a right back. He could therefore solve plenty of problems for Liverpool, as they have been struggling for a consistent right back, and perhaps facilitate a change of formation. Now, that all sounds great, but then you consider he's a 26-year-old and we're looking at something like 50 to 60 million pounds. I just can't really see it, to be honest, unless we have plans to maybe sell Conor Bradley and make him our right back, but I can't see us spending that much money on a left back. But then again, maybe if we value the versatility that much, then we might see a move being made. But I would put this one firmly in the probably not category at the moment. Final story of the morning then, coming from Roland Salai's father, who say that Liverpool have already made contact to sign the Galatasaray winger. Liverpool could be such a destination, and I admit I wouldn't be surprised if this club change happened now in the winter. I know that contact has already been made through a management office. I don't want to, and I don't want to shout anything, but my son would really have a good chance in the summer if there's an offer that is also beneficial for Galatasaray to change country and level. It wouldn't just be any moment if Liverpool were to run out onto the Anfield Road turf with 3 Hungarians in the starting lineup. So Salai is predominantly a right winger, but he has played a right back this season for Galatasaray, which it could make sense, to be fair. Like, 1, he's Hungarian, I'm sure he'd settle in quickly with the likes of Szoboszlai and Milos Kerkez. 2, he's probably cheap enough, like, he is getting on in years and he's not exactly this like touted talent that everyone's looking for, so we could get him for a bargain. And 3, you just need experienced players, you need squad players, like, so something like this could make sense. It could be a good backup, it could be a good option for the right side. Let's say if Salah leaves in the summer, you bring in someone like, I don't know, Yan Diomande, Barcola, someone, just bring in someone to be the right winger, and then you have Salah as another option behind him, as well as likes of Frimpong, and then maybe you move on to Conor Bradley if we're worried about his injury issues. Again, I'd probably put it into probably not category, but I can see some sense in this one. Like, I think a bargain could be there to be had, and he could be a very good squad player, so one to keep an eye on. But again, I probably would put it in the probably not category. That's all from me this morning anyway. If you have enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. Like I said, please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You could be not subscribed and you think you are, so double check that you are, please. Craig will be back with a video in the afternoon and then a live stream this evening, so please keep an eye out for them. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon.